Cambridge Road. These are some of my guys. Our veterans, there's other veterans out here. Thank you in all that you've done and all that you do, as well as all the first responders. We have members from Woodstock Volunteer, Bungie Volunteer, and I believe Muddy Brook is here. Yeah, there they are. And plus the ambulance crew. I'm going to introduce Jay Swan. He's going to have a few words for us. Thank you.
Good morning. Much like November 22nd, 1963, many of us remember where we were on September 11th, 2021. We remember what we were doing, who we were with, and most importantly, how we felt. First confusion, then uncertainty, and finally anger. And we gather on this beautiful morning, and it was a morning much like this 20 years ago. Blue skies, no clouds. This is almost deja vu. And again, we're gathering this morning to remember. At 8:46 a.m., the first plane struck the North Tower. Many of us were called by friends or co-workers, and we watched in horror on computer screens or TVs. We were all confused and had no idea what was going on. At 9:03 a.m., the second plane hit the South Tower. Debris rained down. People were trying to get away as far as possible, and we all realized at that point this was no accident. As people were trying to escape, as was typical, firefighters, police officers, EMTs, and other emergency personnel were running towards the destruction. At 9:45 a.m., a plane strikes the Pentagon. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapsed. Massive clouds of smoke and dust filled lower Manhattan. People continued to try to escape, but again, cops and firefighters continued to charge towards the destruction. At 10:10 a.m. in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the plane taken back by the passengers crashes. And at 10:28, the North Tower fell. None of us knew what to think or how to feel. We were all in shock, and then the shock turned to anger. We all knew this wasn't an accident, it was a coordinated plan. Immediate actions were put into place to find those responsible. And so today, we remember that on that day, 2,996 lives were lost, included with 343 firefighters and emergency responders, 71 law enforcement officers. More than 25,000 individuals were injured. Many more died in the aftermath from exposure to chemicals, injuries, PTSD, and other causes. What I remember most in the aftermath was America became a kinder nation in the weeks and months following. Today we remember the lives lost and give thanks to those who served. May we also remember the spirit of camaraderie that flourished in the wake of that tragic day. And let's try to work together to bring that feeling back. Thank you. Glenn's going to offer a few words.
Thank you. All of us old enough remember where we were when we heard the news. I found a TV just in time to watch the second tower get hit. The rest of the day unfolded from there. For me, it was shock, confusion, same as pretty much anybody else. Heroism came to the fore that day, though, and sharing and helping your fellow man showed who we strive to be. From the people who perished and never knew what happened, to the people of Flight 93, whose attempt to wrest control from the terrorists resulted in that plane crashing near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, instead of the terrorists' intended target. The many acts of heroism and sacrifice from all involved, be they firefighter, EMT, policeman, or citizen caught in a situation they had no idea about, All those acts of heroism were in plain sight in spite of their fear. We are here this morning to remember and honor all of those lost souls. Richard Santos was the National Commander of the American Legion on September 1st, 11th, 2001. Shortly after the attacks, he penned a message that still resonates 2 decades later. America continues to heal, and it is our responsibility as veterans to tend to the wounds. Some will panic about the future. We must reassure them. Some will weep over a lost family member or friend. We must hold their hands. Some will be angry. We must help them temper their rage. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a legacy that we can all create for those lost on 9/11. Healing, reassurance, and comfort. These qualities run counter to the inhumanity exhibited by a small group of terrorists that day. Combine these traits with a steadfast commitment to prepare and prevent future attacks, and we will truly be honoring all those who were lost. We must never forget. God bless the brave souls in 9/11, and God bless America. Terry Walsh will now play Amazing Grace. I guess Jay and I speak too fast, or we don't have long enough speeches. I'm trying to get this as close as possible to 8:46. I want to thank all of the fellow veterans, all of the firemen, the EMTs, and every Woodstock citizen that is out here and has this day in their heart. It is extremely touching. And I want you to know I'm going to have a tough time singing. I don't want to belabor it, and I think keeping it going in a timely fashion or in a constant, consistent fashion might be more important than the 8:46. My idea was to recite the names We're not going to go for a long, drawn-out bell process. So, at this time, in honor of the Twin Towers in New York City, in honor of the Pentagon, Washington, D.C., and in honor and remembrance of the civilians that crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Can we please have a moment of silence? Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Through the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order! March! Ready.
Reverend Downer will now offer us a benediction. Thank you very much.
As we prepare to leave, if we could pause for a moment of prayer as we remember. Creator God, we come to you as the people did on that day. Nearly 3,000 lost, people from all walks of life, different faith, and we call you by many names. As we come and as we prepare to go, we remember. And as we remember, we ask that you continue to inspire us in ways that the memories of this day live within our hearts and through our lives. We remember 2,977 people whose lives were lost. We remember they were mothers and fathers, sisters, brothers, colleagues, friends, strangers gathered from around the world. As we remember, we give you thanks. We give you thanks for the courage of the first responders, 412 first responders who lost their lives that day, running into the challenge and the terror to give their lives in service and in hopes of saving others. Encourage us, Heavenly Creator. Encourage us by their courage. Embolden us that we may continue to comfort those who grieve the loss of their loved ones. Console those who continue to struggle with illnesses of the mind the body, and the spirit that stem from that day. Forgive us, we ask, for the ways that we unintentionally participate with the forces of fear that continue to fragment your one human family. And most of all, embolden us in the memory of this day that the lives lost were not in vain, that in these moments we may find the courage to remember that even as those towers fell, for a brief moment as the world railed against the grief and with mourning, the world rallied to come together so that we might glimpse the possibility of what it can be when we remember that we are all part of your one human family. Embolden us and strengthen us that in our own ways we find ways to remember and to make your world a much better place. Let us go in peace. Thanks to you in all your many names. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Downer. Now, Terry Walsh, as a recessional, will offer God Bless America. Thank you, Terry, and thank all of the folks here from the Post, from the 3 fire departments, and just the residents of town for joining us this morning. Have a good day.
Thank you.